Hey guys, what's up? GP2K here, back with another video. And today, we're going to be talking about how in life and in the NFL, we all want second chances, but we very rarely get second chances in life. But it's something that we like to talk about. So in this video, we're going to be doing a 2020 draft, but we're going to be redoing it so that, like, all the teams that messed up, they get a second chance. Good for them, right? So without any further ado, let's get into it. So with the first pick on the board, the Cincinnati Bengals have that pick. And Joe Burrow is a very good quarterback. Don't get me wrong. But Justin Herbert, just in the rookie year alone, he played better. So with the first pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Cincinnati Bengals select Justin Herbert. He had a monster rookie year for the Chargers. And with the Bengals, he could not be stopped. He has a very big arm, one of the bigger arms in this class. And many people doubted him in college, but he proved all of his doubters wrong by putting up monster numbers. So now with the number 2 pick on the board, the Washington football team owned this pick. And very rarely in life do we look back at our past and wouldn't change anything. But for the Washington football team, they did absolutely perfect here. Chase Young is an absolute beast. They're going to draft him every single time. He is a great player. He will be the future of their pass rush for the next 10-15 years. They absolutely did everything right you were supposed to do in this pick. Now at the number 3 overall spot, the Detroit Lions own this pick. And with this pick, you got to go Tristan Wirfs. He is an amazing tackle. He is one of the best right tackles. And you could put him at left tackle if you really wanted to, but the Detroit Lions' area of need is right tackle. So there's absolutely no reason not to pick him here. He's a great player. He did miracles for the Bucs line, and you just can't go wrong with it. At the number 4 overall spot, the New York Giants own this pick, and with this pick, you got to go Joe Burrow. He's a really good quarterback. Daniel Jones obviously isn't the answer at quarterback for you guys. And if you guys had Joe Burrow, that would basically solve a lot of your problems. Quarterback is the most important position on the field, and if you don't have certainty there, you don't have certainty anywhere on the field. Like the Bears, they could have gone to the Super Bowl if they wanted to, but they didn't have a good quarterback. So you got to figure out your quarterback situation before you can start figuring out anything else. Joe Burrow, he's a great quarterback. The New York Giants would absolutely love him. Now at the number 5 overall spot, the Miami Dolphins have this pick, and Tua Tagovailoa didn't have a great rookie year, but it was a very solid rookie year, and the Dolphins absolutely needed a quarterback this year, so picking Tua Tagovailoa was the right choice. And even though he didn't have the best rookie year ever, if you can develop him for a couple years, he could be the answer. So nothing changes here. Tua Tagovailoa. Now at pick number 6, the Los Angeles Chargers have this pick, and with the top 3 quarterbacks off the board, you don't really want to reach for a quarterback here. You should go for the best tackle because the line was pretty weak. So you got to go with Mekhi Becton. He's a great tackle. He's going to boost your offensive line immediately. Some people had doubts about him, but he just shut them up right away. He's a great player, and that would open up lots of opportunities for whatever quarterback you want to have under center in next year or the next couple of years. Now at pick number 7, the Carolina Panthers own this pick, and again, nothing changes. Derek Brown is a great defensive tackle. They really needed a defensive tackle after a couple players are getting a lot older and a couple players retired. So try to restore that 2015 defensive line that got you to the Super Bowl. He's a good player, and he's going to be a center of your defensive line for a lot of years to come. So nothing changes. He's a great player. Now at pick number 8, the Arizona Cardinals have this pick, and Isaiah Simmons is a good player, but Cliff Kingsbury can't seem to figure out how to use him. So I think Isaiah Simmons is a great player, but you got to pass up on him for now. The Arizona Cardinals got to go with Jedrick Wills, tackle out of Alabama. He's a really good tackle. You can put him on the right or left side. He's pretty versatile. He's a great pass blocker, and he would really boost your line. So you got to go with that. Now for the Jaguars at the number 9 spot. I mean, CJ Henderson definitely had his struggles, but he's a good cornerback and he has a lot of upside, and a lot of people think he could be very good in the future. So I don't think you change it. You still go CJ Henderson at the number 9 spot. I think he's an extremely good player, but he could use a lot of learning, and I think the new coaching staff could really help. So that's why I'd still go CJ Henderson. Now with the Browns on the clock at number 10, I think what the Browns have to do in this situation is go with Isaiah Simmons, because he's a great linebacker, strong safety, cornerback, whatever you want to play him at. And I think a lot of teams could really use him. Just because he didn't have the best rookie year in Arizona doesn't mean that's going to happen everywhere. So, like in this play, he can just go from a linebacker to a safety just like that. And he has such good football IQ. And honestly, the Browns system with Kevin Stefanski, I think would be the perfect fit for him. Now at the number 11 spot, the New York Jets own this pick. And in this situation, you got to go Justin Jefferson. He is such a great wide receiver. He can stretch the field, and he is one of the best players from this class, like not just among wide receivers, but among every single position. He is such a good player. With the Vikings, he changed, the Vikings fans thought that their offense would struggle without Stephon Diggs. If anything, it just accelerated. He had 1,400 yards and 7 touchdowns, and he can bring that same kind of magic to any team he plays for. And he is just such a good player, and he can do anything that you want for him. Now at number 12 is the Oakland Raiders, and in real life they drafted Henry Ruggs out of Alabama, but he didn't have the greatest rookie season. But if they got a chance to do it again, they would definitely draft CeeDee Lamb, because he is a great player. He totally added another playmaker to the Cowboys, and they were on track to win their division until Dak Prescott got hurt. And if Dak Prescott can stay healthy a whole season, he can easily be a Pro Bowler. And he can easily be one of the best players in the NFL if he has a good year and a good quarterback throwing him the ball. Now, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are definitely glad that this is not a redo draft, because they're definitely happy with Tristan Wirfs. But if this was in this situation, they would have to draft Michael Onwenu, and he's a great guard out of Michigan. He totally transformed the Patriots' offensive line, and it kind of revitalized it, because before it was kind of getting older and going down the hill. Yeah, but he'll be a great guard for this team for the next 5 to 10 years. He's a great player, and he's one of the best rookie guards and best rookie offensive linemen except for Tristan Wirfs. He can add anything and a lot to a good running game, and it can really accelerate the pass blocking as well. At the number 14 spot, the San Francisco 49ers own this pick, and what they would have to do is draft Jeff Okudah out of Ohio State. And even though he had a pretty rough rookie year with the Lions, many people think he is going to be a very good cornerback in the future, because he is one of the best college prospect cornerbacks ever. And many people think that with some good coaching, like the 49ers have, he could be a very, very good cornerback. And he has a very bright future ahead of him if he can put his stuff together. Now at spot 15, the Denver Broncos own this selection, and if they were to do it again, I think they would still select Jerry Jeudy. He's the best wide receiver available at the moment, and even though there's players like Brandon Ayuk, Chase Claypool, and T. Higgins, I still think Jerry Jeudy has a lot of potential, and I don't think they're quite ready to give up on him yet. And let's just see what he does next year. And if he doesn't do then, maybe let's do another one of these. But I still think the Broncos are going to go with Jerry Jeudy. I think they like him a lot. Now at the number 16 pick, the Atlanta Falcons have this pick. And what I think they would do if they had the choice to do it, I think they would go Jalen Johnson, cornerback. And he's been just a big threat for the Bears. He's been able to shut down a lot of passes for the Bears, and he's been a big, big help to their defense. And I just continue to think that the Bears are one good quarterback away from Super Bowl contention. And if Jalen Johnson was on the Falcons, their secondary would be a lot better. A.J. Terrell had a very mediocre rookie year, but Jalen Johnson, he succeeded expectations by a lot. Now with the Dallas Cowboys on the clock, I think the smart decision for them would be to draft Javon Kinlaw. He's a great defensive tackle, and even though he had a little bit rough of a rookie year with the 49ers, I think he would be used very well on the Cowboys defense. And even though their coaching is very uncertain, but you just need to get some good players to help the coaches out. Like, a coach's dream is to have a very coachable young rookies that are there to learn. So Javon Kinlaw would be a perfect option for the Cowboys, and they really need it. Now with the Miami Dolphins on the clock at pick 18, I think what a very good fit for their offense would be Henry Ruggs. You have a young quarterback in Tua Tagovailoa that needs a little bit of development, but he also needs some good weapons to throw the ball to. And he has some experience with Henry Ruggs, so maybe they would click a little bit. And then on one side of the field, you would have Devontae Parker, who can go up and get it, and then Henry Ruggs, who has great separation on the other side. And I think Brian Flores would be able to use Henry Ruggs in a very big way. And Henry Ruggs, he has a lot of potential. You just need to use him right. Now at pick 19, the Raiders, it's their pick. And in real life, they really screwed this pick up. They picked Damon Arnette, and he has looked horrible. One of the worst cornerbacks ever. I like to give cornerbacks some slack, but he was absolutely horrible. But another cornerback that the Raiders should select here instead is L'Jarius Sneed. The Chiefs got him in the 3rd round, and it was just an absolute steal. He's been a great player, and he's going to be the center of their secondary for many years to come. And if the Raiders ended up taking him instead, that would be a very different story, because L'Jarius Sneed, he is just a very good player, and he can help any secondary that he comes face to face. Now with the Jacksonville Jaguars on the clock, they own this pick at spot number 20. What I think they should do instead of drafting K'Lavon Chaisson is I think they should draft Patrick Queen. Patrick Queen, I think the Ravens are very lucky to get him at such a late pick. I thought he would go within picks 10 to 20, but he didn't, which is absolutely insane to me. But the Jaguars should definitely regret not taking him. Patrick Queen is a great player. He's very good at rushing the quarterback. And one thing that I think is people say his pass coverage isn't very good, but I think it could get a lot better with some good coaching. And his run stuffing ability is absolutely out of this world. If the Ravens defense is very good, and it's just kind of sad that they just got another amazing player out of Patrick Queen when many teams thought he wouldn't be that good, and they didn't even want him. Now at pick number 21, I definitely think the Eagles regret not taking Kenneth Murray. I think they should just give it up and stop trying to draft wide receivers and just sign them in free agency. Even though they're expensive, they just can't seem to do it right no matter how many times they try. And Kenneth Murray is a very good player for the Chargers. He's very good at stuffing the run. And with some coaching, I definitely think he could be a very, very good player. He's one of those players that I think he's either going to be like a mediocre player his whole career, or like he's going to have that 1 year and be a superstar for the rest of his life. So I definitely think the Eagles are going to go Kenneth Murray. Now I think the Vikings are very happy that they got Justin Jefferson, but since this is a redo, he's not going to be available there. But I still think they're going to get a very, very good wide receiver here in T. Higgins. T. Higgins is a very good wide receiver for the Bengals. And in his rookie year, I think he's just going to keep improving on that. And with Kirk Cousins, I think he could be a very good fit for that. Because Kirk Cousins needs some help sometimes. And he could definitely be that kind of wide receiver that would help him out. T. Higgins would be a very good fit in the Vikings offense. And the Vikings definitely the Vikings aren't even thinking about taking a redo draft, so I probably don't bet any Vikings fans are going to be watching this. Now, since the Bengals stole the Chargers quarterback at the number 1 overall spot, the Chargers, they need a quarterback here. So, the best quarterback available is definitely Jordan Love, and even though we don't really know anything about him, he's the best option available at this point. And the Chargers, I think they could use Jordan Love very well. And Anthony Lynn is a very good quarterback developing coach. Even though he's not on the team anymore, Jordan Love would get 1 year with him. And I think Jordan Love would be a very good fit for the Chargers, and there's a lot of good weapons there. And unlike Green Bay, I think he could have the chance to succeed. Now at the 24th pick, I think the Saints, they would take Antoine Winfield Jr. He's a very good player. He was absolutely amazing for the Bucs. And his dad was in the NFL, so he got a lot to learn about the players, and he knows a lot about the game. So he's a very mature player and a person. And I think he could help the Saints defense out a lot, because they're starting to go downhill because they're in a salary cap hell. So I don't really know what they're going to do, because I think the Saints definitely regret not taking him. Even though Antoine Winfield was taken in the 2nd round, that definitely would have been a good investment for them to draft Antoine Winfield. Now, even though the 49ers got a very good wide receiver in Brandon Ayuk at their number 25 spot, I think if they could do it again, I think they would take Chase Claypool. Chase Claypool has the ability. He is huge and he is very fast as well. Chase Claypool is just he's one of those players that can be absolutely a beast, but he just needs to have high confidence. He has some of those stretches where he's just absolutely unstoppable, but then some other stretches where he just is a very good wide receiver. So if they could do it again, I definitely think they would take Chase Claypool. And the Steelers should feel very, very fortunate that he dropped all the way to the 2nd round, because there's not that many players that go like this and that they last that long, because I definitely think he has Calvin Johnson potential. Now, I think the Packers definitely regret not taking Brandon Ayuk at the number 25 spot. Jordan Love, they tried to pull another Aaron Rodgers. It backfired on them. I feel like they're just one good wide receiver away from winning a Super Bowl, because they made it to the playoffs again this year, but they couldn't go all the way. They couldn't beat the Buccaneers. There's always one team that they just can't beat. I mean, Marquez Valdes-Scantling, he goes deep, and he can get there very fast, but he doesn't catch it. Brandon Ayuk, he's a very good deep threat, and he would be a very good fit in the Packers offense. And I just think they really need it. And the Packers, if they could do it again, they definitely would. Now, what I think the Seahawks should do with their 27th overall pick is draft Jeremy Chin, the free safety, because he is a very, very versatile free safety. He's one of the faster secondary people in the draft, and ever since the Panthers drafted him in the 3rd round, they've been nothing but satisfied with what he's been able to give him. He's been very good at tackling. He's a very good tackler for how small he is. And the Seahawks, if they could do it again, I definitely think they would draft Jeremy Chin. Now, the Ravens have a pretty powerful offensive line, but one thing that they could definitely use is another strong guard. So if they could do it again, I think they would take the Lions' 3rd round pick, Jonah Jackson. He has been great for the Lions. He's been a great guard, great run blocker, and he's pretty above average pass blocker too for being a guard. And run blocking is definitely a specialty. Jonah Jackson came out of Ohio State, and he was a 3rd-day pick. So the Lions definitely like Jonah Jackson a lot, and the Ravens would definitely draft him. Now, the Titans' 29th overall pick, Isaiah Wilson, was definitely a flop. So if they could do it again, I think they would draft the Jaguars pick, Kayvon Chaisson. I think he was kind of a reach from where the Jaguars got him, but from the Titans, I think he would be a perfect player and fit perfectly into their scheme in every single way, shape, and form. He is very fast, and he's a very good edge threat. So, and Harold Landry is a good outside linebacker, but Kayvon Chason provide that pass rush that Harold Landry doesn't. And Isaiah Wilson was bad, plain and simple. And the Titans really want to make up for their pick. Now, since in this draft the Dolphins didn't draft Austin Jackson, I think what they would do at this pick, they would draft Andrew Thomas, because he still has a lot of potential, and I think he could really help that offensive line. And Daniel Jones didn't really make Andrew Thomas look the best. So if Dolphins could do this pick again, I think they would draft Andrew Thomas. Now the Vikings, they took a swing at Jeff Gladney. It did not work out. If they could do it again, they would draft A.J. Terrell. He is a very good zone cornerback, and they just kind of really need that. Most of their cornerbacks right now are solid man, and a zone cornerback would really help their defense out a lot. Mike Zimmer said it was the worst defense he ever played with, and the Vikings are trying to do everything they can to fix that, so A.J. Terrell would be a good fit. Now, I'm not saying that Clyde Edwards-Helaire is bad, but I think if the Chiefs could redo this pick, Jonathan Taylor would be the right guy for him, because Jonathan Taylor is a very, very good running back. Towards the end of the season, he was looking like a Pro Bowl running back. He finished the season off against the Jaguars with 250 yards. Only Derrick Henry ever did that in the season besides him. And he just kept getting stronger and stronger and looked like he fit in the NFL more and more as the season went along. And Clyde Edwards-Helaire, well, I think one reason they took him is because Jonathan Taylor isn't as good of a receiving back. But if you can take a better running back, that's what you're going to do. And Jonathan Taylor, he's just an amazing player. That's all I have to say. So guys, thanks for watching. And if you liked the video, please like and subscribe. And if you have any ideas for any further videos, leave it down in the comments below. And that's pretty much it. See you next time.